The most interesting use cases, though, are where AI lets you do something that it's so complicated that you wouldn't do before.
Okay.
And going back to an example that is very relatable that I mentioned before, this idea of messy vendor
Hmm.
data. We have a lot of customers that come to us, and their initial state is talk. One of the things that we offer, right, is we have a few nice templates for vendor level planning. You meet with your head of engineering. These are the 20 things that they are spending on, and you can work with them to like figure out line by line with some of the AI assistants. But in the end, there's part of the conversation of forecasting that. There's a lot of teams that come to us and say, we would like to do that, but we actually don't do it today. And
Hmm.
we don't do it because our actuals and our NetSuite QuickBooks data is so messy that like we have no baseline, and we're just like there's nothing worse in forecasting that like forecasting with like a bad baseline, so you,
Right.
you don't know what you're comparing against. So they are like, yeah, and it will take us 2 weeks to just clean up our data. We just don't have the time to spend 2 weeks on a project like cleaning up that vendor data. And this is where, okay, AI cleans your data overnight. You still need to probably give some feedback. There's things that won't work out of the box, but like that's 95% of the job. And now you're unlocking this new process that you previously wasn't possible with AI because it was so complicated that you just wouldn't do it. And I think those are examples that we're seeing like in a few different workflows now, which I think is much more impactful because it's
Hmm.
not making something that is like a 7 out of 10, a 9 or a 10 out of 10. It is like enabling net new workflows that people weren't able to do before.
Right. And so is this, when you say clean the data from a vendor perspective, is it actually going into QuickBooks and changing vendor names? Or is it taking all of the however many vendor names they have, and then in the instance of Aleph, you can visualize those as like a unique vendor name?
Yeah, I think that's something that we are always discussing and where we want to change the source systems.
Hmm.
And I think like today, just for like traceability,
Mm.
we're choosing not to.
Hmm.
So conceptually, a way to think about it is we add another column, and people call it like a left vendor. So whenever you want to do a report, you can choose the vendor, or you can choose the Aleph vendor,
Hmm.
and that's the alternative that like that Aleph vendor has looked at your vendor if it's there, but has looked at the credit card transaction description, has looked at the journal entry description.
Right.
If it's like an amortization, a lot of people have that issue. So yeah, so today we're choosing not to change the source system, just to make like a big part of AI for us is how can you make AI fully traceable.